I'm Dean. I'm the dad.
I'm Laura. I'm the mom.
And I'm Krista. I'm the daughter.
And together we are...
Family Pot!
Yay! Very nice indeed. Right off the bat, we need to do a trigger warning. We will be talking about some death in this episode, especially as it concerns the history of the Queen Mary.
I mean, yeah, we are talking about an almost 1,000-year-old ship here. Or 100-year-old ship here.
I was going to say, how old do you think this is?
I forgot what year it was.
So,
1,000.
Remember, if you want to help out the show, there's a few ways you can do that. You can help us out through Patreon, which is 3 different groups. There's Team Podcast, Team Bunny, and Team Spa Day. 4 different levels, $1, $3, $5, and $10. It's a monthly donation, and every little bit helps. Now, if you can't do a monthly donation, you can always go with Buy Me a Coffee, which is a one-time donation. And then other than that, well, you know, if you can't do money, I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. We all understand that. Of course, if you do enjoy the show, more important than even donating, so, like Dean says, every little bit helps. The most important thing is that you share our show on social media, and otherwise, if you don't enjoy the show,
keep it
to yourself.
Absolutely, that's our rule.
So tonight we discuss the Queen Mary, built during the...
I thought tonight we were going to discuss me.
No.
I am the queen of your heart and the mother of your children, and I am going to be out of town doing a little something for myself this weekend and trying to sell some of my arts and crafts. And so I just thought when I saw in my email that we were talking about the Queen, you were going to make the show about it.
Well, that would be great, except that, one, last week we did announce it was the Queen Mary.
Oh, yeah.
And 2, as much as I love you and as much as there is to talk about where you're concerned...
You're not paranormal.
Well, yeah, not yet.
Not
yet for quite some time.
Yet.
Okay, as I was saying, we discussed the Queen Mary. Built during the Great Depression, the ship had a grand life at sea as part of the Cunard line of luxury ships, and that history, or at least some of it, replays nightly on the Queen Mary, docked as it is in Long Beach, California.
Yeah, the Queen Mary is pretty awesome.
But, hey, you were born in Long Beach, right?
Well, I did live there for a little bit when I was just a little girl. My mother was with my stepfather, who was stationed on a naval base near Long Beach. So, a little bit of my family history, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So,
why?
Because while we're not talking about you directly, you sort of kind of connect with the topic.
Well, okay. I can see where you're going with that. Good job, honey. Way to keep me feeling spoiled. But don't we usually do something about now?
Yes. Normally, we do facts. Well, we don't do the facts. Krysta does the facts.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. One of my favorite times of the day of our show is when Krysta shares her.
It's my favorite time of the day. I just, in my head, picture Krysta, coming out once a day to share facts with us.
That's pretty cool, too. It's always a good time when we get to see our Krysta.
Welcome back to the Fact Corner, everyone. My name's Krysta, and I will be your host, as always. If there is ever a replacement or an alien, please do not hesitate to contact my father. He is probably replaced me, and we can find each other on the street.
We would never, never.
The only people I know that might replace you are your siblings, and, well, except for the very little one, I don't trust the others.
I doubt they replace me. Plus, I'm the one who does most of their chores for them. Anyway. This true. Anyway, today's facts are about Long Beach.
Awesome!
Cool. Not to be confused with Long Island.
Don't listen. Father,
Who would do something like that?
Nobody in this family.
Of course not.
Don't look at me.
What's in you? What?
I got it. If you're wondering what they're talking about, I was the one who got it.
She's too honest.
I wasn't trying to call you out. Now I have to go through and delete all of that.
Good for you. Uh-huh.
Or you could just leave it in.
Or you could just leave
Like
it in.
you do.
Like I do.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
Everything's okay because this is nothing but family.
Family.
That's right. It's just
Family.
us hanging out with our family.
Okay. So, today's facts are from 10factsabout.com.
Cool. We've had them before, haven't we?
Pretty sure we have.
Absolutely.
We
need to get people to sponsor Krysta's Fact Corner.
We do.
Yeah. We should reach out to some of these websites that she uses and see if they want us to promo their websites.
Promo me! Okay. So.
Don't you mean fact?
Yeah, don't you mean fact number one?
Stuff keeps popping up with them.
Oh. So they're a very pop-up ad-friendly website.
Yes.
I see. How pretty.
Mom, you're getting distracted.
It is pretty, though. Go. I'm listening.
Why would you do that?
Why are you picking on my Skittles? He wasn't picking on... He was fixing him, weren't you? Was he askew? He was an askew Skittles.
His bowl was sitting on the scissors.
There's so many S's in this.
Why are you laughing at the S's?
Sorry.
Mom! What are you, a snake?
So fact number one.
You know I would, but it's being a butthead.
Fact number one, Long Beach is a butthead. Okay, then.
I've never
Not Long Beach, the website I was using.
Oh.
What was the name of that website again?
10factsabout.com.
Why don't we just use, Here we go. I got you. Alright. This may have better...
So is it actually Long Beach?
Mm-hmm. Should you want to come get your facts from can you see my... There you go.
54 degrees, yep, Long Beach, California.
This one or a different one?
That one.
That one exactly. Was it Facts in History?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So, in 1784, the area that is now Long Beach was first settled as part of a massive Spanish land to grant soldier Manuel
Nieto, I think.
Nieto,
Encompassing. Just trying to help.
the historic 28,000
Yep.
28,000 acre ranch
Alamitos.
Alamitos and its sister rancho, 27,000 acre rancho
Los Cerritos, I think.
Cerritos?
Which I think might mean the cherries, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Could mean the cherries. Could mean the Cheetos, for all I know.
Cheetos!
And if you found a bag of Cheetos from 1784, they'd probably still be edible.
I think they'd be non-existent because Cheetos weren't invented in 1780.
Oh, you and your facts.
Nope, facts are Krista's job. I'm just here for the snacks.
You're not eating anything.
Do you have Cheetos?
I wish. I wish I had any form of chip right now.
You just had a bowl full of Mom's chips.
Please send money to the podcast so that I can afford to feed these children who never stop eating. Oh my gosh.
That is true. The kids never stop eating.
I can't keep up with these grocery bills, listeners. Please support the podcast.
Don't cry!
I have a full-time job and I still can't keep up with the groceries.
1882. Yes, we're skipping a couple of years.
You're fine. You just share, you don't have to verbatim, just
Verbatim.
these are facts. This isn't an oral report.
Yeah. Anyway. 1882. Long Beach originally planned as Wilmore City by developer William Wilmore.
Gee, wonder where he got the city name from.
Yeah, me too.
How creative!
He was a fan of the Green Lantern comics, and he's all about willpower, and he wanted more, so it was Wilmore City.
See,
Green
that makes
Lantern.
so much more sense now.
Were Green Lantern comics made back then?
No, not until 1940, 50, somewhere in there.
Exactly.
Yep, well, Cheetos too. You're really lucky he's not responsible for timelines. Thank goodness you're not Doctor Who.
Okay. Began forming along with the... I finished the last.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Mom, are you okay?
Keep going. I'm good. I'm just be over here for a minute.
Your mom confused herself. It's okay.
Yep.
1885. Competition between the new Santa Fe Railroad and older Southern Pacific Railroad attracted hordes of visitors to Long Beach and created a real estate boom. Boom!
It means people were buying land and houses by the truckload.
We should do facts on them someday. They pay their employees.
Mom, are you trying to say something?
Yeah, railroad retirees get a pretty good pension, from what I understand.
You saying you want to be paid that much?
She wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Is there any job that pays $100 an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah, changing spark plugs in diesel engines.
If I made my uncle used to work for the city, and when he had to work on holidays, he made like double, triple time. He made like $360 an hour or something. It was insane.
Oh my gosh.
Them government jobs, baby. We all should be so lucky. Unfortunately, as I understand it, a lot of government employees aren't real happy about what they make, so they probably have to, take some stuff in so they don't riot. You should probably edit out.
You can edit that last part out. I think the information about $100 an hour is
Okay.
okay. Back to
Real estate boom.
Yes.
Finish that fact.
Right.
3 facts down. We're on to our 4th fact. Let's go to 1902. The introduction of the Pacific Electric trolley caused the city to grow both as a resort and commercial center.
Wow, that's pretty.
Oh yeah, this is literally visitlongbeach.com. So it's not.
Yeah, we had to change
it, but Dad's probably gonna edit that out.
I'm glad you think your dad's just capable of editing magic. He has some faith in you. Like, here, Dad, fix this. Here, Dad, fix that. Here, Dad, fix this.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Little girls are supposed to believe their daddies are magical and can fix everything. Just like Zuzu.
I can fix it. It's no big deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anything for Daddy's little princess. I love it so much.
Okay.
Was that the last fact?
No, that was 4.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
She can pick another 1 or 2 if she wants.
1921. Oil was discovered on Signal Hill in Long Beach, Florida, with $1 million from unskilled downtown.
Absolutely. Which
Black
worked
gold.
out for them in a few more years because 12 years later, the next one down. 33.
I'm sorry, what is it? 1933? Oh. Long Beach was struck by a major earthquake downtown. Long Beach was rebuilt in Art Deco style.
Which is pretty hip and groovy.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling groovy.
Wait! You just forced me into another fact. Mom's evil.
I snuck in a bonus Krysta fact. High five! Woohoo! You're welcome.
Alright, well, that's it.
Good job, Krysta.
Oh, is that? Are you done?
Yeah, I said
That's it. I got it. What do you want from the child? She was at school all day.
I was just making sure I got it in her claps.
Yeah. can't be a real Krysta fact without both.
That's very true.
So now we go to the Queen Mary, or rather the building of it. On April 3rd, 1929, at their annual meeting, Sir Thomas Royston announced that the question of new tonnage is constantly on our minds, and plans are begun to replace the Mauretania, Aquitania, and Berengaria, which are 3 ships in the Cunard line, with a pair of new ocean liners. Now, the funny thing to me is these ships, the Mauretania, the Aquitania, and the Berengaria, are actually recreated in Resident Evil, in a Resident Evil game. In fact, it's Revelations, Resident Evil Revelations.
I love when video games pull historic pieces out.
But they're not called that, but they are clearly modeled on these 3 ships in the Cunard line. Now, so on May 28th, 1930, Cunard announces that the John Brown Shipyard in Scotland has been picked to build the new ship. On December 1st, 1930, the keel plate of the new ship, which is currently only known as Job Number 534, is laid down.
Wow.
Cool.
I don't know anything about shipbuilding, so
I
guess that's important.
Right, the keel plate, I guess, is the largest part of the ship. It's the bottom deck.
See, look at you. I didn't know that.
I only know that because I had to do the research. So there you go.
No, and that's awesome.
On December 11th, 1931, work is halted on Job Number 534 due to an inability to secure further bank loans. Can you guess why, Krysta?
No.
A Great Depression. The Great Depression. Banks wouldn't loan them the sum they needed to finish the ship. Meanwhile, work on what will become known as the George V graving dock begins earlier in the year. Now, at this point, the plating on what will come to be known as the Queen Mary is 80% complete, and the ship stands at 9 stories tall. So, kind of big.
A little bit hefty.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of thing you can just put away in a closet to come back to later.
Now, on July 26, 1933, the King George V graving dock is officially open when King George V and Queen Mary enter the dock on the royal yacht, the Albert and Victoria, which, isn't it illegal to name something with 2 names like that?
No, I don't think so. But maybe, is it? I don't know. Now I'm confused. Is that actually a law?
I doubt it.
I didn't know there were laws about what you could name things.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there is, because, I mean, it's illegal to use certain colors.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How can you illegalize?
You can sue someone for using a certain color. Like, businesses do that all the time.
What?
They sue people for using certain colors for their brand. From their brand. Yeah. Like, if they try to use it for another business thing, of course they will.
For a color?
Yeah.
I know. I don't think that's right.
No,
Okay,
it is.
sorry.
I can tell you right now.
Okay.
So, the dock is the largest in the world at that time. It's 1,200 feet long, 135 feet wide at its entrance, 59 feet deep, holds 58 million gallons of water, and can hold any ship up to 100,000 tons. So,
It's like I said, a little, yeah.
On January 1st, 1934, the Cunard Line merges with the famous White Star Line. Now, the White Star Line became quite famous a little around this time for a ship it built called the Titanic.
Oh.
Well, it was about, 22 years previous.
So, On March 27th, the North Atlantic Shipping Bill, which is an English bill, not an American one, provides a loan of £4.5 million from the British Treasury to finish Job 534 and lays the groundwork for a second loan not to exceed £5 million for building of a second ship. Mm-hmm. On April 3rd, work resumes, which is its work had been halted 28 months earlier on Job 534. On September 26th, Job 534 is launched, given the name of Queen Mary by Mary herself. And that's kind of true, but kind of not. They were going to name the Queen Mary Queen Victoria. If you looked at Aquitania, Berengaria, Mauritania, all their ships end with IA. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to create the Queen Victoria because then they'd still had that IA. Well, the first thing they did was tell the king that they were going to name the ship after England's greatest queen. And that's how they put it, England. And so instead of just going, oh, who do you think that is? He goes, oh, well, my wife will be thrilled you decided to name it after her. And after that, they decided it would be a bad idea to disagree with the queen, with the king, so they named it the Queen Mary.
Yes, yeah. As you do.
Yeah, if you didn't use the queen's name, you might have been in trouble.
Well, they were going for Queen Victoria, but yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. Queen Mary is what they got.
They were just like, oh, maybe I should get this. I think was a good idea.
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
The ship is moved to a fitting out basin where she has boilers installed on September 28th. By November 6th, the engines and almost all heavy equipment are installed. Funnels and both masts are in position as well. So, getting to 1936, March 5th, King Edward VIII makes an inspection tour of the ship. On March 24th, that same year, the ship is taken to Gourock, Scotland, for tests of the compass as well as other tests. March 26th, early speed trials are undertaken as the ship gets dry docked in the George V. Graving Dock. On April 15th, official speed trials are held off the Isle of Arran, which is near Ireland. On May 12th, at exactly noon, the ship is officially handed off from the John Brown shipyard to the Cunard White Star Line. On May 25th, King Edward VIII, Her Majesty Queen Mary, the young Princess Elizabeth, the Duke and Duchess of York, soon to be King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Duke and Duchess of Kent, and the Duchess of Gloucester visit the ship. Queen Mary presents her personal standard to the ship. It was displayed at the head of the main staircase on the promenade deck, is now located on board the QE2.
So these people are all like the relatives
they're all English royalty.
Yeah, but they're just like this last generation. Because when we're saying Princess Elizabeth, that's Elizabeth that just passed, right?
Yep.
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That's really wild. Sorry, just made that connection in my head. It was like, I don't come across that very often when we go through stuff where we still have a very living,
Yeah.
A lot of these where we talk about the extensive history, it's history. It's not stuff that these people are still alive. So when they're talking about the Duke and Duchess of Kent, they're talking about people that were related to the people who are currently in English nobility still today. So just
right.
Sorry.
Right. Now, on May 27th, Queen Mary departs on her maiden voyage at 4:33 p.m., arriving in Cherbourg, France at 8:47 p.m., departing at 12:47 p.m. the following morning, which if you're or 12:47 a.m. the following morning, I should say, not p.m. On June 1st, she arrived at Pier 90 in New York City at 4:20 p.m. Total trip time, 5 days, 5 hours, and 14 minutes.
That's pretty quick for,
Yeah. Well, on her 6th round-trip voyage, the Queen Mary wins the Blue Riband, not ribbon, but riband, R-I-B-A-N-D, for the fastest North Atlantic crossings from the French line's Normandy. The Normandy wins the honor back the very next year.
Wow.
In 1938, the Queen Mary earns 2 distinctions. The first in October when it docks without the aid of tugboats. And then it once again won the Blue Riband for fastest North Atlantic crossing times from the Normandy. This time it keeps the honor until the honor itself is no longer awarded.
Wow. Good job, Queen Mary.
So, and now let's take a moment for a word from our sponsors.
Is it that time already?
It is now.
Okay.
Hey, honey.
Hey, yeah. Oh, you know what?
What?
I feel sponsored.
Yay! So, you were talking about names that were within the last generation. I'm about to drop a big one on you here. 1939, on August 30th, the Queen Mary makes her final peacetime voyage with over 2,500 passengers, including Mr. and Mrs. Bob Hope.
Wow. Yep, that's definitely a big name. And millions in gold bullion. Ooh, fancy and expensive.
With France and England declaring war on Germany, the Queen Mary is refitted as a troop ship to carry soldiers. It was something that the Cunard Line pretty much had to go along with as part of the terms of that shipping act. Because since the money that built the ship was loaned from the Treasury, if England needed a ship, guess which one she was going to use?
Absolutely. Makes sense to me.
So, yeah, that's part of that. So the ship's retrofit is completed. Its carrying capacity is raised to 5,500 troops, and it completes its first voyage as a troop transport, taking 5,500 troops from Australia to Gourock, Scotland.
Mm.
It was later outfitted with paravanes and a degaussing strip. A paravane is a towed underwater glider.
That's so good that you knew that I was actually going to be like, what the heck is that?
Which is designed for anti-submarine work. So it's kind of like a towed torpedo, basically.
Ah,
A towed torpedo!
that's amazing.
Towed, T-O-W-E-D, not towed, T-O-A-D.
Ribbit.
Oh,
I got you. All right.
And a degaussing strip is used to reduce the ship's attraction to the infamous German magnetic mines.
Ooh. Wow. That's crazy.
In 1942, the ship is damaged in Boston Harbor, where it's put in dry dock, and its troop capacity is increased yet again. From February 18th to March 28th, it carries over 8,000 American troops. The first time it has done so, carried any American troops, from Boston to Sydney. This is referred to as the 40 Days and 40 Nights cruise. From May 11th to the 16th is the first time over 10,000 people have been on any ship, which it was over 9,500 troops and almost 1,000 crew. Eventually, the ship becomes the first ship to carry a whole division, which is over 15,000 men on one voyage.
Wow.
On October 2nd, 1942, it strikes the British light carrier Curacoa and is briefly repaired at John Brown Shipyard before it is sent to Boston Harbor Dry Dock for more permanent repairs.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So I guess it definitely makes the things that we'll talk about later, make sense with how many lives were very tenuous in the process. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Now, it's interesting to note that basically the way they repaired the damage initially at the John Brown shipyard is dumping 70 tons of concrete into the hull.
Well, sure. I mean.
And then they send
black the hole, I guess, was the thought with that.
And then they sent it to Boston, where it got permanently patched.
Mm.
In 1943, the Queen Mary carries over 16,000 men in a single voyage, which is a new record. It also twice delivers Winston Churchill on stateside errands and even transports German prisoners of war. In 1944, VE Day occurs, which is Victory in Europe, in case you didn't know. And the following year, all the armament is removed from the Queen Mary except the 6-inch gun. It is also repainted in Cunard Line colors. Over the next year, it will make several trips bringing war brides and families to the U.S.
Aww.
So, yeah. At this point, it's interesting that the Queen Mary, when it was a troop ship, they called it the Gray Ghost.
That is?
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Now, in the next years are uneventful as the ship begins to age, and without the demand for transportation of this kind, it is eventually sold to a Long Beach man, where it becomes a floating hotel and a tourist attraction. So that is the history of the Queen Mary.
Lot of people, lot of lives. Long live the Queen Mary.
Now, I'm sure that since then, the record for the amount of men carried on a single voyage or the amount of people has probably been surpassed. But yeah, it was.
Even at that, though, wow.
Yeah, well, if you look on the Queen Mary's website, it does have pictures of the ship when it was a troop transport, and you can see just how close the guys had to live. I mean, it was literally, you inhale when I exhale, and please get your elbow out of my eye. It was pretty tight, just saying.
Very close quarters. So I would imagine that definitely had, and that's what I'm saying. When you have that many people on board of a single.
Well, but that's just it. There wasn't a lot of death on the ship. Over 50 people were lost in over 100 crossings. That's, at that time, that's 1 every 2 trips. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's really good.
Now, among the ghosts reportedly still hanging around is an engineer who died in the ship's engine room, a lady in white, and various children located throughout the ship, including the first-class pool. The tour stops at the entrance doors to the swimming pool, but does not go inside the pool area due to ongoing restoration projects.
Mm.
Now, the ship currently offers what it calls haunted encounters, which is during the day, but when the sun goes down, the spirits aboard Queen Mary come out to play. Now, one of the things is their tours at night is dining with the spirits, paranormal investigation, and a paranormal ship walk. According to Queen Mary's passenger logbooks, 47 passengers have died on board. However, many more servicemen reportedly also met their ends on the ship. Archivist Bill Winberg told the Los Angeles Times in 1988 that during her service In World War II, there was a burial at sea every 4 hours. There are also stories of soldiers who would literally jump ship as the Queen Mary left New York, and who knows how many of these people drowned or made it to shore. So let's talk about some of the entities that are on there. One is a gentleman they call John Petter. They also sometimes call him Half-Latch Harry. He lurks in corridors and elevators near the engine room. That's not a good word with ghosts, lurks. You don't want a ghost that lurks. Lurking ghosts are bad.
Yeah. Bad lurking ghosts.
Visitors to the area, known as Shaft Alley, sometimes report being followed by a bearded man in work overalls who disappears near door 13. Other visitors to the area claim to hear unexplained banging on pipes, seeing greasy handprints appear on the walls, and even unseen hands grabbing their clothing or bags. Could this be the ghost of a former crew member? In July 1966, a tragic accident resulted in the death of one of the ship's firemen. 18-year-old John Petter was crushed between a watertight door and its frame. The door number 13.
Unlucky number 13.
What a way to die, getting crushed like that. Ugh. Now, a spirit known as Dana is a young girl who supposedly roams the halls of the Queen Mary. Visitors also report Dana haunting the archive and cargo areas of the ship, playing and hiding behind storage crates. According to legend, a family of 4 occupying room B474 met their end when their father strangled his wife and one of his children and left their lifeless bodies on the bed. He then shot his remaining daughter in the bathroom and took his own life. Many believe that daughter is Dana, who continues to haunt the ship to this day. But if this story is true, there's certainly no record of it. But the little lost spirit known as Dana may be the source of other ghostly goings-on in the area that used to house the second-class pool. She heartbreakingly cries out for her mother. So, Krysta, you want to go spend the night in the Queen Mary? Hang out meet Dana?
If I'm going to die, no. But if I get to meet Dana, I may.
Oh, you're such a good baby.
Now, another one of the full-bodied apparitions that famously haunts the ship is the woman by the pool. And let me just say, these are my favorite kind of hauntings where we can identify some of the haunters.
Yeah.
So, what are you watching?
Nothing. I like to be able to identify. It's always good where we know what we're dealing with. I agree with you on that.
Adult-sized, wet footprints and puddles sometimes appear along the edge of the first-class pool or near the changing room, announcing the imminent appearance of this specter.
Well, yeah, because if you're a ghost someplace with a pool, you might as well enjoy some of your afterlife. Duh.
Visitors describe the spirit as a woman in her late 20s or early 30s wearing a 1930s style swimsuit. So like leggings and
bloomers. I think they call those bloomers.
I'm just saying, the 1930s swimsuits weren't exactly form-fitting or exposing anything. So
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Well, what's wrong?
Nothing's wrong with it, Krysta. It's just
how they were.
Yeah, it was a different time. They were a bit more prudish. Prudish, was that?
Definitely more prudish, for sure.
Now, let's see. Now, visitors describe the spirit as a woman in her late 20s or early 30s wearing a 1930s style swimsuit. The identity of this ghost remains a mystery, but she's certainly enjoyed many refreshing swims over the past century, though the pool no longer contains any water.
Mm-hmm. So, how are you?
You aren't, a ghost is, and I don't know. Where do the wet footprints come from if there's no water? I don't know. The universe does not consult me when it does this weird stuff. So the next ghost we have to talk about is John Henry. Now, this is not the steel driving man, John Henry. Okay. This is a different John Henry. John may have been a member of the Queen Mary's original construction crew in the 30s. However, some think he was actually a young wannabe sailor who lied about his age to get a job on board the ship. Most believers do agree that the man perished in or near one of the ship's boilers room, but the cause of his death is a matter of debate. Although the area was transformed into a dressing room for performers at the boiler room stage, visitors to the former boiler room sometimes hear unexplained tapping and clanging on the wall. Yeah. Some even claim spying a shadowy figure hanging out in the location or a mysterious face peering down at them from a hole in the ceiling.
See, and I was trying not to interrupt you anymore, but I can actually speak to that unexplained tapping, because when Ghost Hunters was doing the show on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
Their paranormal show. When they were at the Queen Mary and investigating, they actually heard that tapping when they were one of the investigators that heard it, and it was on their actual show on TV.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Now, I should also point out that John Henry is kind of famous for touching visitors, and he prefers touching women to touching men. So John Henry's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Very creepy. He better keep his hands off anybody I know.
Well, tales of unexplained pushing and grabbing of male guests are common, but some ladies report feeling a gentle hand brushing their cheek or caressing their hair.
Some ladies.
Hey, Henry Crabgrass says, permission.
Who's Henry Crabgrass?
From
So the most commonly recorded spirit on the Queen Mary, Jacqueline Torrin, or Jackie, interacts with visitors in the first and second class pool areas. This extroverted spirit is uncommonly playful with visitors.
Do you think that Stephen King might have taken for the character named Torrance?
No.
Jack.
No.
Jacqueline Torrin. Jack Torrance. Mr. Torrance. I don't know. It seems.
Torrance.
Yeah, it seems really close to me, but sorry.
Jackie's ghost reportedly is also the source of splashing and giggling sounds coming from the first-class pool. Little wet footsteps made by invisible feet appear heading in the direction of the locker room. Did Jackie tragically drown in the second-class pool? Many believe she did. In fact, many of the tour guides will tell you she did, which I hate. I hate it when they lie to tell a story.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Tell me you don't know. I'll take you don't know. But don't tell me something that you know ain't true.
Absolutely. Shame on
them. Guests on ghost tours often recount stories of seeing a beautiful young woman in white, in a white 1930s style evening gown, dancing in a corner of the Queen's Cellar, formerly the first class lounge. She'll disappear before your eyes if you dare to approach her.
Oh boy.
other spotters standing by the piano in the lobby, the very same piano that reportedly used to entertain passengers in the lounge. Perhaps after listening to her film music from a bygone era, the lady in white wanders down the hallway to the elevators where she vanishes. No one knows the true identity of this music-loving spirit, but unlike some of the more tragic ghosts in the ship, she appears to always enjoy herself.
Wow.
So, which a lot of times with ghosts, you'll find out that ghosts who haunt a certain place didn't die there. And it doesn't, and it's not crazy to me that the idea of someone who died and maybe, had cancer or whatever kind of horrible death it was, comes back to haunt some place that they had quite a good time. And at one point, the Queen Mary was the ship to sail on.
Well, sure. And I mean, it was a big, beautiful ship.
So, that is our show at this point. Well, I should say...
Nope, I have said plenty. I don't have any final thoughts or anything else to share. I am sorry, I have run my mouth tonight.
That is sort of your job. You're one of the...
I know, but I don't usually talk this much.
It's true. So what about you, Krysta? Any final thoughts?
It's a place where ghosts subside, and I
reside.
Reside,
I
yeah.
think you mean.
Yeah.
That's
I'm tired. I've had a long day.
That's okay. So if I can get us all ticks, you'd come and stay the night at the hotel on board.
I mean, yeah, as long as they don't.
No, the only thing you might have to worry about is if we go to the boiler room, is the creepy ghost will touch you. But
that is pretty creepy.
It's not that big of a deal, though. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
For a dead guy, sure. Right? He's very nice.
Yeah. I did have a question, though. Did you set that up on purpose? We're ending in California and staying in California.
I didn't set it up on purpose. In fact, I considered moving that one out, but I decided, I like it. And it sort of completes the slow roam we're doing. So,
okay. Yeah. Start Southern California and go up to North. Yeah, makes sense.
So, thank you for listening to the show. As always, new listeners, old listeners, and alike, we're always glad to have you. Thanks to Bill Barrett, who does our theme music. If you need music for a project, Bill's your guy. You can reach him at Bill Barrett, and I'll spell that last name for you, BEHRENDT at sbcglobal.net.
So I posted about something this week in our Facebook page before, and I should have brought it up at the beginning of the show, but I kind of forgot until just now.
Okay.
So I did post so people can be kind of something we're looking forward to, and we've got coming up, and we're going to be recording here in the next, 3 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah.
We have a
one shot
that we're going to do. And what we're going to do is it's going to be a live play role-playing game, right?
I don't know if it will be live play, but it will certainly be recorded.
Yeah.
I may reserve the right to edit some of it.
Absolutely. And however, we could, if people were really interested in doing a live play, we might be able to work that out depending on...
We absolutely could work it out.
Depending on the interest.
Yeah.
But we have a group that's going to get together, and we are going to do a one-shot that Dean has been working really, really hard on. And it's going to be our Family Plays
Family Roll. Yeah.
Family Roll.
Right.
So that's what we're definitely excited that's going to be coming up here before too long. And
My Krysta likes gaming.
To it. Our whole family is looking forward to it. And I believe the majority, if not all of our children, will be playing at least a small role.
Yes.
In this game as well. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
I'll be playing a big role.
Lexi had herself a moment, and almost like a moment amazing. Of pure joy, because she was watching Critical Role with Mom, and she saw an ad for D&D Beyond, and she got so excited.
She lit up like a little firefly. It was so awesome.
And then she was like, she wanted to play, and she's like, "You go tell your dad you need a character." Absolutely. And so we sat there and created a character, and that kid has magic fingers when it comes to rolling dice.
It was amazing.
Not a score under 12.
So great.
Not a score under 12. 2 17s, a 15, an 18, nothing under a 12. That kid... Ugh.
She was so excited. She just was over the moon.
Yep, she's got an Aarakocra that flies and is a rogue, a thiefy kind of thing. So
we're looking forward to it. And I'm sorry you were getting ready to thank Paige.
Yes, from Reverie True Crime. And if you like true crime, Paige has one of the better ones out there, so definitely check her out. But she also does some artwork along with our Christopher the Show. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you, Paige.
Thanks to Aaron Gnurk of the Big Dumb Fun Show, who does some promotion for us locally. Join us next week as we examine, as Laura almost let out of the big bag, the Winchester Mystery House.
Woohoo! Bye!
Bye!